when you say this entire funnel, like, do you start right from, like, let's say you get a client, like what you do is you like analyze their business and you tell them like what sort of lead generation that we can do, meaning like do we have to go specifically into website traffic, or like we have to start running ads. So do you formulate all those things and put it into the entire funnel, like, or like which stage do you help them in?
Well, I primarily help with the lead side. I give like high level, it generally depends on their pain point, but since I specialize, I'm looking to specialize more in the lead automation.
Okay.
So most people like that I'm working with and reaching out to discovery call, they already have some kind of content creation, but their problem is I'm not making money. I'm not monetizing, even though I'm posting whatever 3 times a week,
Understood.
daily. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I'll help with the content creation because that is important. But that is not like the main. That is not like where what the biggest pain point of my customers. And so I focus more on the leads.
Hi, everybody. Those who are watching and listening, welcome back to my show, Experiences with Anish. So, today's podcast, I have Elia with me, who's not completely in AI. He was being, completely in AI, but now he's kind of trying to change his niche, wherein he's kind of going more about automation and those things, especially in this lead generation or niche. So, we're going to talk a lot about lead generation, automation, building systems. Okay. And Healy have been a very good friend of mine. Like I think I've been connected with him maybe for the past 3-4 months, if I'm not wrong. And I thought like maybe it's the right time that I bring him on my show. So thank you so much for accepting the invitation. How do you feel, Ilya?
Hi, Anish. Thanks for having me. I feel great. Love the, always love having a conversation with you. So, um, I'm
Awesome.
glad to be here as well.
Awesome. And by the way, I wouldn't say it's a fun fact, but I would say it's kind of community support. Like right after I post my content, like Elia would be like kind of first is what I would say to always like my post and give a thoughtful comment on it. So that can always made me special is what I would say. So thank you for that.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, it's always good to have a reciprocal engagement list, and so
Exactly.
you're definitely one of those people I love to engage with.
Exactly. Okay. So with that, let's get straight into it. Okay. Ilya, like I have looked at your LinkedIn profile, and you specifically your first LinkedIn headline states that you help your clients build AI systems. Now, when
Mhm.
you say AI systems, like what sort of AI systems do you build, and how it helps your clients? And you've like specifically mentioned the word it helps them save time and earn more money. So like, how does that work? What do you do specifically?
Sure. So I build systems. So you can think of it as a funnel, starting from
Mm-hmm.
content creation, all the
Okay.
way to lead generation and getting clients and monetizing.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people do content creation in terms of other people who market their services. But for me, I focus a little bit more. I'm changing this a little bit more, adapting it in terms of my niche, but I'm changing it more to
Okay.
lead automation because I think that's the trickiest part. At the end of the day, everyone,
Exactly.
if you are in the business of content creation, you want to make money. You don't want to just like get 500 likes on a post or whatever,
Very
10
true.
likes on a post and 100 comments. That doesn't like if you don't know how to convert that to a lead and then to your offer, then what is the purpose of content creation, right? So I'm
True.
focusing more on that aspect and using AI to remove the tedious tasks of like collecting the leads. It's like in terms of like I can walk you through the process, but like that's where I really focus on because
Mm-hmm.
that's because you're gonna like as people who create content, you're gonna get engagement, and so what do you do with this engagement? And if as you start learning what to do with it, it can be quite tedious of like collecting it, analyzing it. This is where AI comes in. This is where the AI systems I help build
Okay.
to help with that.
Okay. And when you say this entire funnel, like, do you start right from like let's say you get a client, Like what you do is you like analyze their business and you tell them like what sort of lead generation that we can do. Meaning like, do we have to go specifically into website traffic, or like we have to start running ads? So do you formulate all those things and put it into the entire funnel, like, or like which stage do you help them in?
Well, I primarily help with the lead side. I give like high level, like it generally depends on their pain point, but since I specialize, I'm looking to specialize more in the lead automation.
Okay.
So most people like that I'm working with and reaching out to discovery call, they already have some kind of content creation, but their problem is I'm not making money. I'm not monetizing, even though I'm posting whatever 3 times a week,
Understood.
daily. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I'll help with the content creation because that is important. But that is not like the main. That is not like where what the biggest pain point of my customers. And so I focus more on the leads.
Okay, understood. So now, I mean, like, diving deep into like lead generation, like, what does your current system of lead automation look like? Because, like you said, you start with including, like, you also help them with the content, right from content creation part, then you go all the way down, right? So when you say,
Mhm.
because currently when I look at my LinkedIn, or LinkedIn profile, there's a lot of the so-called I wouldn't say AI automation, but a lot of automation tools. I think one favorite tool which everybody are kind of using it, which is Clay, if I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure you know about this tool called Clay, right? And
Yes.
there's like Clay is like, I mean, like if you look at the Clay, it's like really so huge. If you look at the
Mhm.
capabilities, we have everything inbuilt inside Clay. So how does your automation look like specifically to this lead? Do you do you have like specifically to use any sort of tools, or like how does it work?
Yeah, so basically it's like I'm using how it works is like you may have heard of this, a tool called Phantom Buster. It's
Yes, I've heard.
since you are in this AI agent and automation space. But basically you start using, you create your posts, like this is like say a client has their
Mm-hmm.
posts, and then
Mm-hmm.
I work with them to use a tool called Phantom Buster to scrape the posts in terms of seeing like who engaged on it with likes and comments, and then go through like a lead qualification criteria, is like, do they
Okay.
fit my ideal customer profile, or are they just, or they it's like or are they just engaging it as like my friend or something else. And
Mm-hmm.
so Phantom Buster scrapes and then have a criteria to qualify them, and then in that list you have like Clay, which is that's using for like more
Enhances.
the analytics, yeah, the analytics conversion of the formatting into CSV, and then from there, then this is where you can look to actually say you have like for example in a post you have uh, very low number. Say you have 20 people who engage in your post, likes and comments. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then from Phantom Buster, it collects those, and then from the lead qualification in Clay, you only have say 4 people who are actually qualified to work with your offer in terms of like whatever you're selling. And
Oh.
so and then from there, this is where I do have like a DM templates of what to use, and I'm looking in terms of a little bit more of an automation tool for the DMs. But that would be like the process of like the lead automation, using 2 tools in lead criteria, and then getting more personal in terms of like the DMs, and
Understood.
uh, and yeah, so that's the process.
Yeah. And when you, I mean, like when you're talking about this Phantom Buster, right? If I'm not wrong, it's the name of the tool, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, like, how does it work? Does it work specific to each and every platform? So you say that if people engage with your platform and it kind of scratches, I mean, it kind of scrapes all those leads, right? So, like, let's say you link your LinkedIn account, for example. So
Hmm.
now what it basically does is it takes away all the data of the people who are engaging with your account, which then gives you as a lead, if I'm not wrong.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
Hmm.
does it work with all the other social media platforms like maybe Instagram or Facebook, or like how does it work?
I just use it for LinkedIn. So for me
Mm-hmm.
right now, I am focusing like my business on LinkedIn primarily.
LinkedIn, okay.
I do post like more of a content delivery of my content from LinkedIn on
Mm-hmm.
X or Twitter and Threads. But I'm not sure. That's something that down the road I'll be looking into. There's, I'm
Okay.
sure there's similar tools out there, but for LinkedIn, Phantom Buster is the best scraper that I've seen.
Okay. No, because even this is something new that I've heard of. Like I knew that Phantom Buster is helpful when you in terms of scrapping out the leads, but I didn't know
Mhm,
that it is like specifically scrapping out the leads of your engagement, which is already
mhm.
a kind of warm, right? Because people are looking at a post, they are maybe looking at a post and engaging those things. Now, if you just try to position yourself as an expert with those data, then maybe you have a chance of getting those as your clients, getting those leads as your clients, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it is exactly right. It's a warm lead. Like they at least you're not a stranger. They looked at your content, they engaged with it somehow, and then from that pipeline, you can walk them through in terms of going to a DM. Like the DM example could be like, thanks for like a very high level template could be like, hi name, thanks for engaging in my post. I'd love to hear more about
Okay.
like provided they fit your criteria. I'd love to hear more about what you're working on and what are you struggling with. That could just be a very intro message. You're not selling anything right away, but just to start the conversation.
Okay. Understood. So like currently, like how does your tool stack look like? Because now you've mentioned that you're using one thing called Phantom Buster. The other one is Clay, which is to kind of enhance. And you're also saying that you're looking into automating a DM process as well. So I'm pretty sure there has to be any other tool which helps you to do this DM process as well, right? So currently, apart from these two tools, like do you also use any other tool or like on the whole, how does your entire tool stack look like? Which is I think you can also tell me from your perspective, meaning like how does your tool stack look for yourself for using your business, and how are you employing it for your clients?
Yes. So for myself, like, so I have to make content, right? So, to bring people into my
Exactly.
world, as you do, as any other content creator. And so my tool stack there for is Super Grow. I do use that for
Okay.
certainly use AI for doing my posts, but of course with AI you always have to edit it. And so the 80/20 rule is get the content drafts using AI and then
Mm-hmm.
iterating it um, both with super like using SuperGo, but then also I have custom GPTs, chat GPTs to
Okay.
format it properly. And then obviously the
Mm-hmm.
human touch, I also add that too. Um, and then other tools is like Notion. Most people use that, or at least a lot of
Exactly.
people use that for organizing their business in terms of like the file management. And then Canva with the designs. This is like kind of a common common stack for people for content creators. Um,
True.
and then yeah. So coming to the for the customers is
Fine.
so those are the clients. It's pretty much similar tools there as if they do need help with the content creation, then I would give them some of the same stack that I have myself.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, as we already talked about in terms of like Phantom Buster and Clay,
Right.
and then something I'm also looking into. This is maybe something that you could answer since you are in the AI agent space. Is like, what are your thoughts on Make? Do you use that some for any part of your like content creation or any part of your like management on LinkedIn?
And so
I'm
currently,
looking
like
into
I
that.
do not. Okay, like currently I do not use it like specifically for content creation, because I post one content every day on LinkedIn which is already been created, meaning like I try to do batch content creation. Okay, so I
Yeah.
don't specifically use it for content creation. I try to keep my entire content creation as humanly written as possible, which is by
Mhm.
myself. Okay, I just do that. So all this use cases what I'm posting on LinkedIn using Make is that I'm trying to build my portfolio wherein I wanted to show them that hey, I'm good in Make, I can make a so and so use cases. So in order to show that expertise as well, like I'm trying to take up a use case each and every day and try to build that out in public, and I want to show that. so that tomorrow I do think that, like, I'm hoping that tomorrow one of my lead, or like, I mean, one of my connections sees it on LinkedIn, maybe he or she will reach out to me asking that, hey, can you build this for us as well? Okay. So the thing is, I'm not like currently using Make for my own personal work as of now. I'm just using,
Mm,
like, what am I doing is, I'll go through their Make websites. I'll go through a lot of tutorials, and I'll see like what sort of use cases that they are building. If I do think that this particular use case is going to be like very useful, what I do is I just take that out and I change a sort of tools around. Because let's say, so for example, recently I had an use case. So what have I done is, I have actually partnered with another content creator. She's an Notion expert. I mean, like, she wanted to become a Notion consultant, so she's learning to do that. So her name's Alicia. Okay, so I've just partnered with her. What we decided is that we thought that we would come up with a specific use case, and then let's build out an entire Notion setup for that specific business.
mm,
Okay,
mm,
but that's the first process. The advanced process gonna be, we have to okay, let me come back to the use case so that you'll have a better understanding, right? So the use case is that there's a product based business. Okay, so they do sell a product, right? So the thing is, after, I mean, like, once they start selling their products, when they have their customers, right, obviously they're gonna send them their email whenever they have any queries, or if they wanted to have any feature request or any sort of bugs, or all those things, so they'll send that. Okay, so what does the developer do is, I'm just talking this as a small business perspective, okay, not a large business, like small business
mhm,
perspective. So now what does the developer does is, he or she reads through the entire ticket, right? So after they read through the ticket, if there's any feature request, what the developer thinks that, okay, this looks valid. Can we build this up? So what he or she does is, he takes that particular ticket and he updates it in the Notion. Okay,
mhm,
but if the developer is saying that I want to take this up and I want to build this, he should also have a market research that have to be done. So now the developer work is, he has to go through the ticket, he has to take those details, put it in Notion, and also put it in another Notion database wherein he has to have this market research done. Now it goes through
mm,
the manager process. Once if this is done, manager looks at the feature request and also looks through the market research. If he finds that, okay, this is good, he gives it the approve, and then again it goes back to the developer. They start putting out the tasks for that specific feature that to be released for the specific project. Okay, so all those
mm,
tasks and all this timeline, all those things, once the feature is being done, they have to update the Notion and just send the ticket back to the user, meaning, hey, like, we've updated this feature for yourself. Okay, so this is the Notion part. Now I wanted to automate this, meaning whenever a user read and whenever he writes in a private comment on a ticketing platform, that has to automatically create this details in Notion. So I want to do this particular automation using Make. So that's what I've been
mm,
doing. Okay, so the thing is, what I wanted to say here is that I'm not specifically building Make automations for myself. I am
mm,
trying to take up as many use cases as possible, so that I wanted to show myself as an expert or authority in that space. So when my lead or my connection looks at this, they will, reach out to me and asking that, hey, can you build this for us? So that's what I do on the whole.
mm, mm. Great.
So this is like,
That sounds cool. Yes,
mm,
that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I've been especially from your content is looking to see how make works, and because that seems to be a good uh,
exactly.
automated tool for various use cases, including lead generation, and so that's why I'm looking into that.
Exactly.
So
I think even we can
um,
also get into lead generation using Make. So, I
yes,
mean, like, if you look at Phantom Bester, you don't have to do a lot of configurations when it comes to
yeah.
this lead setup and those things. But when it comes to Make, you have to do a sort of lot of setup. But again, it's going to give you this same results is what I would say.
I see. So with Make, do you so if I'm paying for the premium for Phantom Buster Play and say LinkedIn Sales Navigator, this is all relevant to the lead generation.
Exactly.
But then if I go to use it in those integrations, assuming that they're in Make, I need to have those premium. I need to have paid for those premium specific tools already, right?
No,
Make.com or Make.
So
Like,
currently, what do they do is they have free versions and they have also other two different plans. Okay, in free version,
okay,
obviously, like if you're going to go beyond a certain point, you have to go for a paid one. There's like no other choice. You have to go get to the paid one. Okay, but otherwise, it's not going to be that. I mean, like you can do it for free, but when you're running it on a large scale, you have to pay for make. So that's how it
yeah,
works. And even there's a lot of tutorials on YouTube wherein they helps you to scrape an entire website or scrape leads, scrape
yeah,
local businesses using Make. So even that's
yeah.
also even possible with Make.
Yeah, yeah. So I have to look into it. I mean, it seems good. I mean, a lot of people are talking about, at least the AI people, that like
Exactly.
AI tool people, AI agent people.
Yeah,
So I'll check that
totally.
out. Good
Sure.
stuff.
Yes. So I think like specifically talking about lead and all this, like I've got an overall view of like how do you do sort of lead generation. Now, every time whenever I talk to guests like you, right, like I take up like one thing. So now I literally didn't know that Phantom Bus is like so much helpful. That was specifically speaking to your an ideal customer. Now I'm gonna take this away. I'm gonna like do a lot of research in Phantom Bus to see if that can help me. Okay, so that is like
Yeah,
really good.
and
I
it's
think with that we've.
specific, and it's specific to LinkedIn.
Mhm.
That's why it's pretty good. Is like it's focusing. If your primary platform is LinkedIn, and you are like looking to do type of that like automated lead generation. I mean, for you, like you could probably set this up for yourself. I mean, well, like typically my customers are not so AI savvy, so
Understood.
it just depends
Understood.
on who you're talking to, but yeah, I
Okay.
would definitely look into Phantom Bus if you are looking to scrape leads on LinkedIn
Hmm.
specifically.
Understood. Sure. So I think so with that, I think we've come to our end of the session. Okay. Final question I wanted to ask you is like, let's say I have a few AI skills specifically. I mean, like since you've also touched upon AI skills, like how do you think I can monetize this skill specifically in this AI field? So do we have to directly get into any sort of services, or do we have to get into digital product or consulting, like training? So what do you think is the best one?
Well, I think first question, like in terms of like trying to monetize anything, is like what are your strengths? Is like you have to figure that out. Like if you don't know what that is, then try a few things.
Understood.
That's like say you're in your early 20s. A lot of people like don't know what they like
No,
or
exactly.
what they're good at, right? And so this is
Exactly.
where like I would just be trying everything. I would be trying plumbing. I would be trying content creation. Like try different fields. Try to start your own business. Try to work at Meta. Just try a lot of different things. So that's the first thing. So now, like, say you know your strengths, and say it
Mm-hmm.
is related to, and also the lifestyle you want. Like, say you want to be a digital nomad, or you want to work either. Okay. And say you want to work from your laptop, or you want to be a remote worker, even though if you're working corporate, a lot of people are forced to go back to the office. Um, so if you have that end goal, and in terms of your vision of the lifestyle you want to work with, you want to work
Mm-hmm.
in, and you know your strengths, and so like if you know those two, great. Those are very important steps. And then now let's say like the third step is like let's talk about AI. You think it is related to AI. You really love AI, whether it's in content creation or something else. Like you want to automate, uh, people using Excel. Just give you an example. You love using Excel and you are really good at it, Microsoft Excel or Google Sheets, and you're really good at talking about. You're passionate about it, and you're digitally savvy. Like that's the thing with AI. You have to be very comfortable with learning tools. You don't have to code. You may not. I mean, it really actually does help you if you know how to code, because you know the foundations of software.
Exactly.
Um, but you don't need that if you are like digitally savvy. And so, okay, so now let's say like you are digitally savvy, AI savvy, you can pick up AI tools very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And so then now it's just like more about like what is it like what do you want to sell? Like, do you want to sell like tea, like, and automate the sales process of like getting leads, or marketing content? You
Mm-hmm.
know, like AI can, like, think of AI as like a helper to remove tedious tasks, you know, and to scale up faster. And so that could be like in any part of like the sales cycle. It could be from like, you know, like from marketing to getting to making money, and or producing a digital product itself entirely with AI. Like you want to sell a digital product that you built with AI. And so this is where you have to, and that's why the strengths matter a lot. Is like if you're not good at like building products, then you have to have somebody else do it, and maybe you just focus on the marketing and content creation. And so
Mm-hmm.
this is why like if you're a solopreneur, like say you're a 9 to 5 person and you are want to try being a AI content creator on the side, which is, you know, like which is what a lot of people do, or at least some people do. And you have to see,
Yes.
like, you're gonna have to learn a lot of these things like design, marketing. uh, so that's a hard thing to do. uh, you know, it's hard to monetize that way. So it might be better to just focus on something that you can, you're really good at, and you can just build a product. Like, for example, say you have some technical training, you can build an AI product, but you don't want to spend so much time on content creation because that is a lot of time. So you have a co-founder, or you have like, you work with somebody else to do the marketing while you be the builder, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know, like, and so this, and so I'm kind of going through this myself. Like, I'm a solopreneur and a 9 to 5 person, but it is like, it is quite taxing to do everything yourself, you know. Right?
Exactly.
Like you know, I'm no expert in content creation. Like, I'm learning it on the fly, but it is taking a lot of time. While I'd probably
So
rather
true.
just be better off with building a product because I have some software engineering experience. So, you know, like, this is why the first two things matter. Is like, what is your strengths, what is the
Strength.
lifestyle you want, and then if it's related to AI, you know, AI can do a lot in terms of the digital space. But even not even in the digital space, say you want to do something like, you've heard of like boring businesses, like HVAC, plumbing. Those are more like recession resistant, and you know, like, that's something I'm also looking into
So true.
too. And how like you can automate the sales cycle. Like, when I, at least in USA, when I talk to like these service people, their software is horrendous. Like, they don't have, like, their customer service is terrible. Like, if they just put in AI chatbots, that'd be better. You know, for like, you know, like,
So
these are
true.
like, you know, these are just like examples where you don't have to like be an AI content creator. I know, like, we're on LinkedIn and this is all you see, but like, you have to kind of think outside the box of content creation, because like, a lot of people on LinkedIn or social media don't even post content, yet they're thriving in their business
Very
because
true. Very
they're
true.
they're doing the business. They're not, you know, like, whatever it is, and scaling. And this is where AI helps out with scale. So that would be my advice: is focus
Yeah.
on like what you think you, and if you don't know, you just try a few things. Pivot if you have to, but that's what I would say.
Yeah. It's just getting started. Just do something.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.